What's up, guys? It's your boy Jim Rat Crypto in the morning, 26 live before the intro. I love it. Love to see my people in here. I'm in a good mood, so no worries on the show today. I'm in a great mood. I feel really good. I slept. I think the biggest. Some days, Sam, I just take 5 melatonin and I just go. But I don't do it all the time because I don't want like my brain to get used to that at all. But like those days where it's like 9:30 and you're just like, I want to be out. I had one of those nights, woke up at like 8:39, sipped on coffee, listened to some music. Good vibes. Super good vibes. Great to see everyone in here. OMFE, good morning, Hexkins. First time I've ever seen you first in here, and that's a good place to be. Hexkin Tattooer, great to see you. My girlfriend does not want me to get a Hex or Pulse tattoo, and now I strongly want to for some odd reason. So if Pulse goes to a penny, I'm definitely getting a Pulse tattoo because I'll be so fucking rich. And I'll be so fucking rich. And if Hex goes to $1, I'll get a little one. Because I got hacked, so that's not as meaningful. I'm just kidding. Hex Kid Papa, Melf Tony, Taryn H, Romanian Dan with the memes. I'm here so I don't get fined. You will get fined if you're not here. Crypto Heathen, great name. Bigfoot. All the classic brothers in here and sisters that love to learn, love to grow, and love crypto in the morning. Guys, I know Richard's not a prayer guy, but I know his mother's going through a serious situation. So seriously, I know the guy because I watch him all the time at least, and I feel for him because, I watch a lot of his content. So it's like, do you feel like I know him a bit? And what his mom's going through it's not pretty. You know what I mean? It's just not a pretty situation. So just, best wishes to Richard. He's a crazy guy, but, family, I'm sure flying to the States, doing all that stuff is not going to be great, especially when someone's chronically ill. It's all stressful. All the best to the family. So, guys, we're going to be talking about a little bit about Taiwan, a little bit about the news, and then we're going straight into Sam's brain. So we'll see what Sam's brain has going on. Bank X. I haven't heard of it yet. They mentioned Hex twice or 3 times. I can't remember what Sam told me in the white paper, which is, I didn't even think about what he was talking about. I was in La La Land, and then he said that, right? And I was like, excuse me? That's why guys like Sam are so critical. Because like me, like I like reading white papers and stuff. But, some of those further off ones, like Sam's really well studied when it comes to reading documents. I don't even know what the fuck to call it, but he reads so much and he catches stuff like this. That's called early. I like that. Bank X, let's learn, guys. If they're thinking about Hex and even thinking about some of the aspects of Hex while they're creating whatever they're creating, bullish. Taiwan's dropping nukes. Bullish. Consumer spending's 0.1, up 0.1%. A lagging indicator. Bullish. Guys, all the other crypto channels are going to tell you that this is the bottom so that they can get their businesses going as well as possible. The bottom's not in. Okay? It's not. Period. We're getting Pelosi going across, bombs dropping, doing all this shit. A couple people need to lose some more money. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say, guys? I think it is. If you think, I'd be so surprised if we kept going up from here. This is financial advice. Protect yourselves. Guys, crypto in the morning, every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's check out this dope-ass animation/music video from DeFi Proof.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some Hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some Maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
high-stakes visit to Taiwan. She left the island today. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports China's saber-rattling over that trip is escalating.
Speaker Pelosi left Taiwan this morning, but the Chinese have not let it go. Those who offend China will be punished, they warned, as they vowed to launch live-fire military exercises in the waters encircling Taiwan starting tonight.
We are prepared to manage what Beijing chooses to do.
Taiwan is a self-governing democracy and America's 9th largest trading partner. But Beijing considers the island Chinese territory and has long discouraged Taiwanese engagement with foreign governments.
They didn't say anything when the men came.
Pelosi mocked China's reaction in an appearance with Taiwan's president.
Whether it's certain insecurities on the part of the president of China as to his own political situation that he's rattling a saber, I don't know.
As she spoke, China sent more than 20 fighter jets into Taiwan's air defense zone, prompting Taiwan to scramble its own jets. China also suspended some imports of fruit and fish from Taiwan. In a letter, G7 leaders urged China to call off the economic coercion and aggressive military activity, saying it risks destabilizing the region. To drive the point home, the White House released this photo of President Biden, still in COVID isolation, discussing the issue with his national security team. What is the consequence for China if it...
Man, oh man, these guys wearing their fucking masks in 2022. Got the tickler going on. We're gonna send some jets. Drop one on her ass. Drop one on Biden's ass. Finish that shit off. And I don't even care. Like morally, I don't even care because it's such a joke. At this point, it's a joke. What? How dare she say anything about China? They should have dropped a bomb right on her ass. And it's sickening. It's all disgusting. It's disgusting. Everything that comes out of those diaper-faced dumb fucks' mouths is disgusting.
Oh, man. I was listening to, my buddy sent me this 15, 20-minute video of DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida where I live. And he's going through and talking about the Constitution and why certain things are in place and what is going on currently now and the incentive structure when you don't have term limits, and also the incentive structure around how the Constitution in Florida requires a balanced budget, and that's not the case at the federal level. So what ends up happening is you have weak little bitches that don't make decisions and punt the ball into the future because they're spineless bastards and they don't actually care. They don't actually give an F about any of their constituents whatsoever.
They're hardly alive. I don't even blame them. No, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame those two in particular as human beings. I just blame it's just all a failure, man. Lobbying, like, I mean, I'm going to stop it at that. Like, we could just say the lobbyists ruined government and money ruined the government. It's now a paid play situation to the fullest degree. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump, whether I like him or not, which personally I really don't. Like, I'm just not a huge Donald Trump fan as a personality, but
I like him.
I could see him winning because he gets most clicks. And that's just the world we're in now. Click rate is money, and that's just how life goes. Donald Trump gets all the clicks. These people are dying, and no one knows who they are. But to be fair, Donald Trump is extremely old. Just to be fair, like, this man is
bro, I completely agree. But
he's just old. I'm like, dude, people die like, you know,
correct.
He might not even want to do it. Come on, he's got to be thinking a little bit like, dude, I'm going to actually die soon. For real.
Well, that's probably what Biden's thinking, if he can still think, right? If Biden's thinking,
well, he looks like he's 60. He talks like he's 60, and but that's just, I mean, whether they're putting blood bags. I've seen a lot of, you know, you just deteriorate. Mother Nature does its work eventually, but he has the most money, so maybe they're like test tubing him up, and he's got all the good shit.
Because if you have in place some simple things that allow, like, what is the purpose of government, right? In the United States, the purpose of the government being in place to start with was to protect the Constitution, because the Constitution was like everybody's created equal, right? Every man and woman is created equal, and there's different parts of that, and that's what it was in place for, not so that we, the people, ask for permission to do shit. And when it becomes to the
We
point
don't
where
even
they're
get to
infringing on
ask.
freedom,
We don't even get to ask anymore. Richard just tweeted out last night. I didn't know if this had it related to him, but he said, if you are a citizen of the U.S., no vax needed. If you're not a citizen of the U.S., vax needed to just travel. So you can't even travel in without a vax. And I don't know if he still has whatever. It doesn't matter. They'll tell you what to do at the end of the day. They'll tell you right in, and it's just that point. There's a premium there. And I know I say that word all the time, but there's a premium where people will say, no, you won't. And they just try to teeter right under that line. It's basically they raise the bar, but stay under the line, if you know what I mean. They always push it up. And it's just a slow thing. And at some point, I'm going to be like, ma'am, I can't take my money out. I will shoot you now because I have nothing.
Well, there's that referendum in Texas, right? We talked to that guy the other day, Crypto Heartbeat, I think was his name, or Matt, and he mentioned that they're voting to become a sovereign nation, the state of Texas, right? And if that is the case, like if we don't get some actual people with spines and backbones who are at least taking action in the direction that the majority of Americans want, to move in an intelligent manner, to reduce the deficit, to cut spending, to reduce more taxes. Like, I don't see shit lasting and yes, like a dying carcass is going to die for a very long time, right? But that's just not in a good direction whatsoever. We need things like the term limits. We need laws in place that require a balanced budget, period. We need incentives in the government, not incentives to just spend more money, because that's what they currently are, right? I used to work for DOD, and we would just buy shit just to spend the budget. Had no idea if it was going to add value to the ROI.
Dude, I had this buddy that I was a military contractor, and he was my CrossFit partner. Like, for whatever reason, he was an older guy. He's like 45 or so, very successful, buttoned up guy, no big, just all work, no, a little bit of working out. He would laugh all day long about the money they were spending. He was like, dude, we just bought like these random ass missiles.
Bro,
literally, he's like, we just bought these random ass missiles and they exploded the ones that were already there because they were in a weird spot, and they were just like, fuck it.
I was in charge. I think the budget was $33 or $34 million. And I enjoy the gym. I don't know if you could tell that, but the base I was at did not have a full gym because it was like 60 to 90 people on the base at a time. It was very recluse, or like out of the way of everybody else. So with the commander's approval, I just bought all the shit for the fucking gym I wanted. Tens of thousands of dollars. That shit that like I'm going to be the primary person to use, that are taxpayers are paying
People
for. Because
dream about times that a company would give them a credit card, but that's reality. Like, once you get up in a company, like, you got the credit card pretty much, because that's what they mean. They trust you. They want you up. They, it's all like a little, it's like a locker room at some point too. It's like, oh, I like Sam and I like this guy. Sam don't work that hard. He don't work that hard, but we all like each other because it's all fun. Everyone hates their shit at the end of the day, right? When you're working at the banks.
I even asked them to give me other people's position, like eliminate that billet. A billet is like a job, right? So you fill a billet with a person, and that person is an FTE, right? So a full-time equivalent. They work 40 hours a week doing X or whatever that X is, right? So I asked if they would eliminate a couple billets and I would fill those billets, right? I was like, I'll do my own job. I will do their job. I will do it better than they are doing it. And you can cut their pay by 50% by giving me 50% of what they make, right? Saving money and getting more accomplished, right? No bueno. We want to be inefficient. We want to spend more money. And this is across the board, period. There's so much waste. There's incentive for waste, not efficiency.
There's unlimited for waste. Like, go to DC. I used to do cell tower work, and when you do cell phone tower work, a lot of the times you're either on a tower or you're on the top of a really big building, because they put cell towers on the tops of really big buildings. So every single day, 6 a.m., I'd walk in this place, and then I'd use the bathroom a couple times. Ooh. And then I'd use the bathroom a couple times, and because I was working my ass off. I was building cell towers on top of the roof. I thought that's how most people were working at the time. I was like 19, 20, 21 or something. And the same people were sitting in the hallway every day. I was on that job for months and months and months. So you got a vibe, you could catch a vibe because you had to like do the security check-in, do the whole shit. You got to go into a government building, they got to check you out, blah, blah, blah. And I was astonished. I was like, whoa, these people are getting paid to live in DC, probably because it's expensive in DC. And they're not doing anything for months on end. They're literally doing nothing. And basically the companies become this like little incentivized like bubble to keep employees as well, because there's incentives to keep these employees, guys, and it gets sick. That's why small businesses are here, and then there's like a big jump because this area you don't know all the cheat codes, and once you get enough, it's just like, oh, taxes, oh, this thing kind of just lives forever and nothing really goes on anymore because it's just a part of the system. And government is at the point where in my life, I've never seen a successful government in this country. Maybe in the beginning it was more chill, but like now all I see is radical. If you go on YouTube, you're going to watch somebody shoot somebody else because it's the first thing that comes up all the time. The news, shootings everywhere. It's in the crime rate's low, all-time lows. It's just fucking ass backwards at this point. And I'm going to transition this into Bank X, guys. Let's talk crypto. But how do I want to transition this? I want to catch an absolutely amazing vibe. But the first thing I need you to do is I tweeted the show out, guys. Go over to Twitter because there's going to be just a minute break here where we're listening to DeFi Proof's most recent video, and we are going to get it going.
So before we get into DeFi Proof, let me just give a teeny bit of a context. So I think stablecoins, as we know them today, are going to go away. I've said this in previous shows, and the thought process is behind this. If you understand the dollar, and the dollar has this perpetual down in terms of its value, it's not going up and to the right; it's going down and to the left. Or down and to the right, right? If you know that this thing is dying, why would a cryptocurrency that is pegged to a dying carcass survive into the future, right? Ask yourself that question as we get into.
Yeah, I want to dive into that question more because let's dive into the concept too, kind of break it down from the beginning because I really want to talk more about this because really anything that's tied to the worst thing ever, anything would be an improvement. It's like jelly beans would be an improvement. There's probably a market for it. Like there's probably a market for fat people. My dad loves jelly beans. Like seriously, he would pay, he would pay a higher price for jelly beans than he would to get another fucking dollar from the work because it's just not matter. Anyway, DeFi Proof, guys. I only listened to this video once, but I remember it was an absolute banger, guys. I love to break it up every once in a while and get people moving. Please retweet this if you're here. We'll do a little
dance in the background.
Do a little head bob. That would be nice.
Turn the volume up.
And I'm balling ETF, farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. And I'm balling ETF, farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. You see, the problem was these epochs. Now I'm printing daily, man, who need that? I check my APR on VFAT. And the regulation printing big stacks. I simple swapped it for some BNB. Took my share, then I made a big. Treasury on $1 million. Now we printing all these digits. And I'm balling ETF. Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. And I'm balling ETF. Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sick and all this shit don't ever rest.
Let's go.
I like that. Two things that I noticed during that. He's talking a lot about LP and providing liquidity, but also it looks like at some point, or maybe currently, DeFi Proof does a little bit of time in the gym, right? Just a little bit. He's got a tank top on, you know.
He's
Looking
looking
all
good.
saucy.
I have to pump that dude's bags because I know how popular he's going to be in 3 years. Like, I know how popular DeFi Proof, because I love hip hop music. And when somebody told me there was a DeFi hip hop rapper, I was like, you shut up. I was like, I don't want to hear that crap. It's a head bobber every time. That's rare even in the regular music industry. So I caught the vibe. I bought in DeFi Proof, the official DeFi rapper of Crypto in the Morning. Let's get into the next segment, guys.
So I read through the BankX stablecoin, right? This is a stablecoin. And to touch on what we were talking on before around stable coins, right? I think that stable coins will not be in the current iteration. I don't think stable coins will be around how they currently are today. I'd love to hear the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think the current form of a stable coin that is tied to a dying carcass, whether that carcass be the yen, the euro, the dollar, the Australian dollar, the British pound, who gives an F? I don't think it's going to be around because we know what is happening with fiat currency. It is getting flushed down the toilet in terms of its value relative to everything else. Why would something where we know the perpetual direction is down into the toilet survive into the future? Why? I have no idea. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts. Is this like off base? Do you think this is going to be around? I think it's going to be a temporary solution. Well, I've been thinking about creating a stable coin or solutions to have a stable coin that is not tied to the dollar, euro, yen, etc. And this proposes an idea that does that is trustless, that doesn't have admin keys. And they also mention Hex in here, right? That they studied Hex and they like the Hex, how it's done. Somebody mentioned on Twitter the other day that they watched an interview with the founder. I have not seen the founder interview yet, but they watched an interview with the founder of this thing, and he is bullish on Hex. So probably a Hexakin that was like, hey, cool, I love Hex, I made money, and I don't know, this is conjecture, right? But just based upon the stuff I'm hearing, hey, I like Hex. What about creating a stable coin? Maybe he thinks the way I do in terms of this, because I don't see stable coins being around anymore. So this is kind of be interesting to get into. Let's pull this up here and take a gander through this. I'm going to see if I can show you part of the white paper. We can read that section. They're also going to be launching on Pulse, which is kind of cool.
Okay, so sorry, I wasn't paying attention for a minute, but I was kind of paying attention. So I'm going to start active listening now. Okay, thank you for all the support in the chat, guys. If you like DeFi Proof, if you like this show, if you like everything, please like, retweet, and subscribe. That would be very beneficial to me. Thank you. Let's read about BankX here. Sam, all I know so far is we're talking stables, we're talking immutable, we're talking, they mention Hex. I want to know more. The stable coin, in my opinion, is one of the most it's the part in crypto that's just they haven't figured out yet because someone hasn't taken a stand or had enough financial income or had enough incentive, but it will happen, right? So it either happen by the legacy finance system, it would happen guys like BankX that figured this shit out. So let's check it out.
What are some things that have been around longer than the dollar, right?
Gold.
Oh, look at that, gold. Well, this BankX ties its stable to the price of silver or gold because both of those things have been around longer than the dollar.
And they never move. Luckily, they only move with inflation, if that. But but that's better.
So if you have something like that, right, that's been around longer than the dollar has, and there is fluctuations, right? There is times of up and down throughout that period. But Why put it to something that you know is going to die? Silver is used in electronics. Silver is used in, like, people wear chains and jewelry shit from like a silver. People use silver in automobiles. People use silver in lots of different types of stuff. Sometimes people have like utensils in silver. Like, it's used in a bunch of shit. Silver's not going away. It's been around longer than the dollar has. Gold, same exact thing. Gold is used in electronics and a bunch of other things, a lot of jewelry. People like chains and shit.
They should
like
just
that.
tie it to cigarettes and vapes instead of taxing it and just like getting rid of it, and just say, hey, people are going to use it. Why don't we tie it? People are going to use it forever. We can always increase the price and they'll always buy. Wow, it's that simple, right? Like, just if you do, they just want to pretend like they have some good moral standard here, but in reality, they don't. It's all stuck. Just a stuff.
And I want to mention this too here, just because we are. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat here. I love your mustache.
Like two sexy Mexicans getting ready to sing a song, and I love it. I'll sing a song for you.
When you think about this, the way I've kind of put this together is that BankX is a similar product to liquid loans in a bunch of ways, where you put a token in there and you mint the stablecoin, except for instead of the stablecoin being USDL in the case of liquid loans.
So that's how it comes into existence.
And there is a sacrifice. There is a sacrifice phase. I have not sacrificed. I probably will not be sacrificing.
And just for context, too, they are sponsors to the golf tournament, which means that.
Oh, really? They are?
I think that's what Bullish said.
Oh, yeah. I think he was talking about Mintra.
No, that is correct. BankX. I just got the full official sponsor list. I can run it down if you want right now, but BankX is one of them.
Wow.
Oh, you were correct.
Yeah, it's super interesting on that front. That means there's some. There's a lot of rich Mexicans that are doing the golf tournament. I mean, maybe they know about BankX. Maybe they're already looking at solutions. Not everyone's a streamer, guys. There's people out there looking for shit like this, and clearly someone was talking to somebody over in the Hex community, because they're now sponsoring, along with Mintra, the golf tournament. So I'm going to be at the golf tournament, and I'm going to be on the ground, running around, talking to everyone. So if you're there, biceps in the chat. Let me know who's going to be there. I want to know. Go ahead.
I think Monica, MoFit Meals, who is in the chat sometimes, she said she's going to be there, and I let her know that you're going to be there. Okay, so BankX, the way it's structured and I read through this, but I haven't read through all of the information on their website yet. That was going to be what I was going to work on today. But reading through this, right, because sometimes this is like 6 months old, and then they have updated shit on their website. So I like to read through both. And if you think of liquid loans, where you put in Pulse and then you mint USDL, right? But you can be liquidated. Well, with this, you put in ETH, or in the case, it's probably going to be Pulse, right? Put in Pulse, and I don't know. In here it references ETH, but because it's going to be launching on Pulse, I would assume that you're going to put in Pulse. So you put in Pulse, and some of their BankX token, right? And it's going to be like 80% ETH and 20% BankX, and then you mint their stablecoin, which is linked to 1 gram of silver, right? So how does that work? Well, they have to have something like, Monica just came into the chat. They have to have something that pulls the data from somewhere. So that would be, I think it's called Chainlink. They run oracles that pull outside data into crypto, right? So something like that. And then there's They mentioned 3 different ways in which the price is they believe, going to be manipulated to get to, to peg that $1 value. But the interesting thing is here that they have something similar to Hex in that when you mint this stablecoin, you also get
Happy birthday, HexyCat. Wow. HexyCat's in here every day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Best day ever.
Happy birthday, HexyCat. What's up? HexyCat is awesome. Always super helpful. Yes, I love it. So when you mint their stablecoin, you know how you mint USDL and then you can get liquidated if the price of Pulse drops below 110%? That is not the case with this. So you mint your stable and it cannot be liquidated. Also, when you mint, you earn interest. So you earn interest by minting, right? So in liquid loans, you have to take your USDL and then you have to put that into a stability pool to earn yield on there, right? Well, with this, when you mint their stable coin, you automatically start earning interest on their stable coin. When you pay that back, you collect your interest. So there's little differences there, similar in terms of putting into a smart contract, getting the stable coin out. But instead of taking the stable coin and putting it into a stability pool like you would with liquid loans, as soon as you take your stable coins out, you're automatically earning interest on that position. So that's super fascinating. Somebody had mentioned that they have admin keys in here. They mentioned that they have the admin keys and at launch of this because some semantics of it, just like how PulsePot has admin keys, right? PulsePot, which is the casino of crypto. That I'm a fan of that as well, but I don't own any. I did not sacrifice for PulsePot, but I'm a fan of that.
Either did I, and I that they might not.
We'll try to get the person on for this.
I might have the.
Anyway, ask everybody to if you guys know somebody on the team.
Somebody said someone named Lance Parker, CEO, founder of BankX. Does anyone have any contact of Lance Parker, CEO? Ever talked to him? Does Jesse have a contact of his? I'd love to get his contact. That'd be absolutely fantastic. You know who I should ask? Why don't I just ask the guys at the golf tournament, because they clearly have his contact. Hopefully he'll be on the show soon, because I'm going to come at that guy.
Yes, so we'll get all the information and we'll understand the semantics of this. If anybody has a referral to somebody who knows Lance or they know Lance directly, contact us. We would love to chat with this guy, Lance, and see what's up with the dealio on this. More details.
Tell him it's the greatest crypto show that ever existed. Potentially, you can tell him that, and then it might start being like, wow. And then he might see our stashes and really be like, wow.
Oh my God. He's like, I need to go on that show.
So, guys, biceps in the chat. Sam, let's continue. Do you want me to read at any point? Or are we going to dive into this?
Do you want to read through this abstract here?
Yeah, this is going to be important to pay attention, guys, for the next couple minutes. Please try and pay attention, and we will learn a little bit about this. You want to get an early idea of what's actually going on. Pretty much everything Sam said is probably already over everyone's head because they haven't thought about this at all. But let's just start here. Focus up. This is the white paper. That's why they write these. Abstract. BankX brings a dual token, partially collateralized, partially algorithmic stablecoin to decentralized finance. So they said that algorithmic stablecoin to decentralized finance. I guess we'll see if that's true. That's kind of what you were mentioning. The stablecoin is the first to pay you interest for minting while it is in circulation, while never getting at risk of liquidation. It has many attributes, and that's a lot of points that those stablecoin guys are always talking about, that little risk of liquidation kind of piece. That's always like, oh, can we limit that? Can we, because that's, if you never limit risk of liquidation, everyone gets liquidated, right? So it's kind of up to them. It has many attributes of the legacy centralized banking system, but it's designed to benefit the individual. The protocol includes a decentralized approach to the certificate of deposit used in traditional banking today. It also employs a protocol-owned liquidity model, guys. I know this is a lot, okay? But it's not that much. You just have to think of it as the stuff you already know, right, Sam? Like, it's the best way to kind of compare is like, okay, I know this is a little different than that, right? This is a little different than that. Correct. So what can you say about that, the abstract? What are the red flags right away for you, like as a first time reader, like just kind of like, what are you thinking?
So the biggest things that I have questions about is the BankX token. So I read through this and I don't think the picture was completely clear on the BankX token and how that's going to work for the certificate of deposit. I was reading this right before I went to bed, so it's possible that I was like maybe dozing off and then like missed a section of that. So that's why I'm going to read through all the FAQ and information on their site to see if there's I can get a better picture of that. That was the first.
Can we pull up some click rate models too at any point, like to see if they're getting any click through?
Yeah, we can try to see what's up.
Because I mean, what have you read about the volume in this? Have you read about because it's clearly going on other shit, right?
Yeah, well, they're doing a audit, an economic audit and a smart contract audit, right? These are things they're generally thought of as intelligent things to do. So those are good things. They're using the same exact company that audited Hex to audit their contracts.
Is this a Hexagon?
I don't know.
Dude, this must be a fucking Hexagon, bro. Why? How would he know that enough? You have to know a lot about crypto to know the people that use the same company that Richard did. He's very particular, so I'm sure he went above and beyond to find the best company. I know, I don't have to ask. And you could say that's conjecture, and it is, but I just think that way. So potentially this, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of his devs. This could be.
I wouldn't be surprised. I have no idea. I don't know, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's.
I love the conjecture though, because you can always point to the 100 negatives, Sam. But what if it's like 1,000x, right? So it's like, you can always point to the negatives, but there's a lot of they use that word certificate of deposit, which if anyone knows Hex, they're really different. A certificate of deposit and Hex are completely different because there's no gains in a CD, right? Like there's zero gains. So it's not. So basically they're just using the terminology of time locking something, right? So let's continue to read. This is,
also more on the side of just, thinking about future, right? Like, so say if we decided to come out with a stable coin that was say pegged to gold or something like that, or whatever the case is. And if you say were to put in say Pulse or ETH or BNB, depending on where it was launched or launched all over the place, right? You put that into there and you mint your stable coin, which is linked to say 1 gram of gold. Well, then I was like, okay, how could we utilize, because this is leads into the next question I have around BankX, right? And their stable coin and the pegging of that to 1 ounce of silver. There's a couple variables that, how when you mint something, you mint at a certain rate, right? You put in this and then you mint at a certain rate, whether it's based upon like number of transactions you did in ETH, right? With that EMOS mint from a month ago, or with liquid loans, right? You're going to be minting a certain number of tokens of loan tokens if you add to the stability pool, right? And that rate changes based upon the year. Well, instead of having the rate change based upon the year or having it be fixed, what if there was a variable rate of minting based upon the system state of where the peg was? And what if they, just like here, where it's when you mint something, right, you start earning interest, and the interest rate was variable. So you have two things that could be variable here, and you're like, this is getting complex, Sam. What's up? Well, if you think about this, you have the minting side. This tells you how many tokens you get for putting in Pulse. And on this side, if you mint and you pull your gold stable coin out, there's an interest rate that you get by just owning this. You earn an interest rate. Now, because you could play with both of those in the code, say if this happens, then these things are changing. We could potentially create a stable coin linked to gold instead of garbage fiat that helps with the peg based upon those two variables. Meaning, let's talk about this for a second. So say, for example, you needed people to bring the stable coin back in to the system to drive the price up, right? So you need people to add it to the system to push the price up, right? Well, then maybe you go through and you start, you ratchet up the interest rate, right? Or maybe you also decrease the rate at which people can mint things. Or you can play with those two variables. And this is like I'm doing this conjecture out loud here because I found this kind of interesting. But we could go through and create something like this, not necessarily like BankX, but like something as I'm describing, to create a true stable coin that is like the 2.0 of stable coins, where because these stable coins in the current iteration are going to go away, in my opinion, in the future, whether it's 24 months or 67 months. Like
the best part about having those L1s is that it does have flexibility on the USDC side. You know what I mean? Like this is the technology though, right? Like it's something that can be detached from something else and you can bring something else on it. And that's pretty exciting, like they have room to innovate they better have room to innovate in the stablecoin space. And it's so nice to have these L1s that can just detach and attach to these things if it fits their business model,
Yes. Do you want to go through some of these Q&As real quick?
So what is BankX? BankX is fundamentally changing the legacy banking system by giving you the power to create currency and earn interest, not the central banks. We call this individual created digital currency, ICDC. It is first cryptocurrency stablecoin where you own the collateral, you create currency, you earn interest, you leverage, you stake for higher yield. Damn it, I got like a hiccup coming. But BankX has decentralized every aspect of the banking system where you create any amount of passive income you like. First terms you need to know. Stablecoin. A stablecoin is a digital currency that is meant to follow the price of another asset. Guys, remember this. This does not mean the dollar always. It's a stablecoin. A stablecoin, not a peg to the dollar, but a stablecoin. A stablecoin is a digital currency that is meant to follow a price of another asset. So you can have a stable coin off of the Big Mac. That is an asset. You can have a stable coin off of jelly beans. That is an asset. So you need to understand that we're just tying it to the dollar because it's the easiest way to do it probably. But that's not going to be the truth when the dollar goes, nobody wants it. Minting is the creation of cryptocurrency on the blockchain. And I like that they're writing this. This is important, and they're taking time to write this for the new people, I guess, because this is something that, I definitely know by now, but minting is a very important distinctionary word when you're talking about in and outs in crypto, because if you don't know what mint means, then you don't really understand the supply of these tokens, because you have to understand the mint phase for each token. So the mint word has a specific meaning, and you should try and keep that in consideration. Peg. The peg is the underlying asset that stablecoin tracks. Usually, this is 1 USD. BankX pegs its stablecoin to XSD, which is 1 gram of silver. Guys, I know that's where that's what we were just mentioning, right? Any asset but US dollar. And they said, why don't we try an asset that's just a little bit better than the US dollar? Something, the next leg up, but something that people trust nonetheless.
It's been around longer than the dollar.
It's been around longer than fucking any of our grandparents. Staking is locking up your coins in the protocol for the amount of time and earning interest, similar to a CD in the legacy banking system. Extremely interesting shit. I love the way this is written, by the way. BankX is a dual token system. The stable coin, BankX Silver Dollar, the BankX token, utility token used to mint the stable coin and stake in certificate of deposit. Sam, tell them real quick when it comes to, I'm going to use the bathroom for a sec, but tell them real quick the silver part, right? That's going to be the part that blows, whoa, like that's the difference between this and liquid loans. Okay. They're not based on anything other than a crypto asset. So crypto asset and a silver asset, that would be different. That's the big distinction here. Sam, what do you think that could potentially do? Benefits, negative things that could potentially happen? Let them know. And I can hear you while I'm using the bathroom. By the way.
So if you think about this, you think about liquid loans. If you've heard about liquid loans, right? They're launching on Pulse, and this is going to be similar to that, where you have a protocol where you put something into it and you mint something else out of it, right? Oh, that sounds oddly familiar to liquid loans. You put Pulse in and you get USDL out. Now, what happens when you take your USD out or mint that from the contract within liquid loans? Well, you can take your USDL, you could sell that shit, right? Or you could take that USDL and you could put it into their stability pool for the liquid loans protocol. Now, what happens if you put that money into the stability pool for liquid loans? Well, you actually earn a yield. A Hexacat can probably give the semantics of where the yield's coming from because I don't remember off the top of my head. But you're going to be earning USDL and Pulse, and you also are able to mint the loan token. Now with BankX, from my understanding of reading through this one time, so I'm going to read through the rest of this on their site, right? So I could get something incorrect here, but from my understanding, currently, you're going to take, say, Pulse plus a little bit of BankX, put those into the protocol. Now you mint the stablecoin. Same idea as liquid loans, but instead of minting it as something that's linked to the price of the dollar, you're going to be minting something that is linked to the price of silver, right? Because silver's been around longer than the dollar has, right? The dollar's probably going to go away before silver does. Now, when you take a look at this compared to liquid loans again, you have the stability pool in liquid loans. Well, that gives you yield. However, in the BankX, when you mint, you automatically start earning interest. You don't have to take your stablecoin and put it into another protocol. You just automatically start earning interest there. And there's another difference. With liquid loans, if the price of Pulse drops down to below 110% collateralization, what does that mean? It's a big word. Well, if you have, say, $1,000 and you borrowed $900 against that, right? So you have $1,000 of Pulse, put that into the system, you borrowed $900 against that. So you take your USDL, you go sell that, you buy a bunch of toenail clippers, and you sell those in Facebook Marketplace or whatever you're doing. Well, if the price of Pulse comes down by $100, well, comes down to say just a tiny little bit, 110% above that, so $990, you get liquidated. That means you no longer have Pulse, period. In the BankX protocol, you do not get liquidated. You do not get liquidated at all. And the semantics of how the peg is maintained, that is what I have more questions on, that I would like to talk to that Lance fellow who's behind this project to really get a better understanding. Is this going to maintain this? Because based upon my beliefs of the world, I think that the traditional stablecoin of today in 2022, July or August, is not going to be around in the future for an extended period of time. Did you want to touch on that comment? Oh, you're muted.
Guys, we have a little bit of breaking news. We are giving away free tickets to the Power City to our viewers every week starting next week. They're doing some sort of concert in Vegas, and I guess we're giving away free tickets. Bullish, if you want to give them any. Oh, I don't know if you. Bullish, are you here? You might just be in the chat. I haven't even thought about that. But anyway, guys.
I'm here.
You have any details about the event?
Yeah, so I'm literally on the phone with them right now. So all the details to come next week. They're gonna send me all the details for us to get to our viewers. But essentially, you're part of the golf tournament. There's all these extracurricular events going on. I'm assuming you're attending the party as well. So just to show some love to our viewers, they're gonna give us some tickets to give away. So anyone who's attending Vegas, who's in the chat, next week we're gonna start giving away tickets. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a lot of people, performances, open bar, food, plenty of hexagons and pulsicons. So it should be a good time. And your boy Jim Rat will be in the building.
Is it gonna be free human?
Well, no. So if anyone wants to purchase tickets, the tickets are $48. There's a website again. Like I'll drop the link and stuff like that. But in addition to that, we're gonna be giving away some tickets. But for $48, you get drinks. You get fed, you get to dance, you get to party, and you get to hang out with some hexagons and pulsicons. So, sounds
yo, I gotta get. I might have to bring. Never mind.
Oh yeah, and of course, Jim, right? You got a +1 too, and also since we're shilling, remember there's also a pool party going on. So even though the pool party is sold out, reach out to people. You might be able to get in. From what I understand,
if you want to see
Jim,
my six-pack abs, you better be at the pool party, and you can get a real live check at my abs I'll do some flexing too while we're at it, just because I like to party. Guys, we have Jesse in the chat, and he's throwing the big ooh, and we knew that was coming from a mile away. Come on, Jesse, that's predictable, baby. Nah, we love Jesse here, and there's a lot of nuance here with the BankX, and we got to do a lot of research. Understand when you're learning stuff, you actually have to learn it, Jesse. And we know you do your learning. Let everyone else do their learning too, Jesse Poo Poo. And we, guys, I know you're not going to like this, but I have work to do, and so does Sam. So we're going to get off right now. We're not going to get into any more detail until tomorrow. And we are going to do a meeting. So we're absolute ADHD freaks for the gym. And we get sidetracked, and we're trying to be more scheduled. So, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. If you're not subscribed to me, I have a very, very strong feeling I'll be streaming later because I'm in an electric mood. But I have to get off right now because I have work to do with Bullish and Sam. So, guys, I hope everyone has a great day. Seriously, though, take a second. I know I'm a softie. Richard's mom's in jail. I mean, fuck. Richard's mom's in the hospital. She's sick. It's hard. That's a hard thing to deal with. He's got a lot of pressure with his work. Take it easy on my guy. Think about him. Richard, if you're watching this, thank you for all you do. And I'm praying for your family, brother. Hope everyone has a great day. Crypto in the morning is over.
Young folks, you dripping on them motherfucker.
Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one, everything we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out and they'll get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hit restart. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart.